Welcome to our newly renovated standard rooms, and this is our standard veranda, our balcony, depending on if you're on the first floor or the second floor. It comes with 2 chairs and a table. And this is our double queen room. And as you can see, we have our standard herring artwork on the walls with a accent wall and the wooden bed heads, and each bed has a reading lamp, and those reading lamps have USB type A outlets plus a standard outlet on the wall for you to plug in any electronics that you may have. Rooms also come standard with a flat screen television as well as a desk, coffee maker / tea maker that you can use in the mornings if you'd like, and you also have coffee and tea available to you as well. And we also have a mini fridge for your convenience. Of course, we are AC room. This is the Throp-X. This is Jamaica, but we also have a ceiling fan for you available as well if you prefer, or you want to use both. And moving on to the bathroom area, I just wanted to point out that all of our standard room doors now are using electronic key cards, which we are very happy about and just much more easier to use from a hotel logistics standpoint. Moving into the bathroom, this is probably one of our most proudest renovations. Moving into the shower area, we have the rainfall shower head as well as the handheld shower head. And the designer went into the details of putting the shower together with this color schemes, but also the practicality of it. And I just want to highlight some of those. And one of them being the shower drain, as well as the shower heads, which you saw, which is all complementing each other. And of course, the shower amenities with the shelf for your convenience towards the back of the shower, and even where the shower faucet is, which is towards the back of the shower, which allows you to turn on the shower without getting wet. Moving on to the sink, it's also a black handle sink, which again just complements the design of the entire shower and bathroom, and it's all coordinated even with the room design. And as you can see, we have the towel hooks as well, which I really appreciate. And that in a nutshell is our newly renovated standard room.
Throp here again. As you're probably hearing, Jamaica is on an unprecedented economical tear, and I know many people are interested to learn how they might be able to buy property in Jamaica, move here, or even start a business. Enter Thropex. This is my annual Jamaica Investment Conference hosted at Travelers Beach Resort in Negril, Jamaica. If you're even considering moving to or investing in Jamaica, this is the best low-risk opportunity to do your due diligence and network with the very people driving the country forward. This event brings together a group of hand-picked, trusted, top-of-their-field individuals, the best developers, contractors, real estate pros, lenders, and government partners, all under one roof to help you make your move. This is very much an action-focused premium conference experience geared towards empowering you with the tools and team necessary to create your Jamaica dream. We've partnered with the Tax Administration of Jamaica to help you get your TRN and even open a bank account, all conveniently located on conference property. One of the most popular parts of the conference is the real estate tour. It's the best way to understand Jamaica's real estate market, seeing and experiencing properties firsthand so you can compare apples to apples. Another incredibly valuable part of the conference is the people you will meet. Attendees have been some of the most dynamic, inspiring individuals I have met doing incredible things with their lives. As always, this year will be fun, educational, and actionable, giving you the tools, insights, and connections to invest, build, and move to Jamaica. For more information, please visit Throp-X.com and join our mailing list.
This podcast is supported by Discovery Water. Whether I'm working or training, I reach for Discovery Water, 100% premium Jamaican spring water, bottled in glass, no plastic, no gimmicks, refill, not landfill, just clean, natural hydration from right here on the island. Happy Sunday, everyone. I don't know why I'm so small here. Hold on, fix that in a second. Hope you all are doing well. There we go. Happy to be back doing our normal, regularly scheduled live streams on Sundays. We will be doing it earlier, but I'm still in catch-up mode here back in Jamaica after coming back from my Asia trip last week, pretty much. And as per usual, I like to start these live streams off with engaging with you all and hearing where you all are from, what city, what state, what country. I think it's super, super important for building this community and getting to know one another. And this is the second live stream in, 4 days? We're going to be continuing this pretty much right up until Throp-X. We'll be doing 2 live streams per week. We'll have our usual Sunday live stream here in the afternoon, and then Thursday evenings we will have a dedicated Throp-X live stream. And on those live streams you can expect updates on things that are happening with Throp-X, which I'll give you a few today. We are also going to be having some of the speakers that we're going to be attending Throp-X 2025 be coming on the Thursday evening live streams as well. So really, really excited to be live streaming twice a week again. If you've been on this channel for a while, you know I actually want to pump this up and be doing live streams even more times, like 2, 3, 4 times per week. I really enjoy doing this. To me, this is like one of the best ways to engage with this community, to build out the community, to really understand your hopes, your dreams, your needs, everything like that, and hopefully bring value as much as I possibly can in that direction. As for today's live stream, we've got a little bit of an agenda. So as you can tell by the title, we're going to be talking about a recent speech that the Prime Minister gave actually last night. He was in Negril yesterday. There was a humongous crowd downtown. People were telling me about it this morning. And then I saw the videos, like really, really incredible, the amount of people who were there, which is the reason why people talking about it. You know, there's crowds when the Prime Minister goes anywhere, right? And even the opposition, there's gonna be crowds. But this is just not an area that supports the JLP just traditionally. And so I think it was surprising for everybody to see the amount of people that were downtown and kind of locking off downtown. But the important thing, not really a crowd to us, is what he was talking about, Negril, plans for Negril. Specifically, we're going to watch a video, but talking about the Norm Manley Boulevard being turned into a hip strip and a bunch of other things. So we'll get to that momentarily, like literally in like 5 minutes. The other thing on the agenda that we want to talk about is, as I promised on Thursday's live stream, going to be giving you briefly go through the Japan trip. So for those that are unaware, I recently went to Japan, but it wasn't my trip. It was a trip for 12 lucky, I wouldn't say lucky because they earned it, but that's for lack of a better term, 12 lucky Jamaican students. And we took them to Japan to represent Jamaica at the World Expo in Osaka. And they performed on the 6th of August. It was in Osaka. It was called Jamaica Day, but of course it's Jamaica's Independence Day. And this is something that we've been working on basically since January of this year, not only in fundraising through you all, but also in preparing the kids and getting the choreography done, them learning Japanese. They did a phenomenal job. And trust me, even though you weren't there, you would be extremely, extremely proud of these 12 young people. They really represented Jamaica well. They were fantastic ambassadors for Jamaica, and I couldn't be prouder of those students. And many of them have graduated high school. A lot of them have started school. They've gone abroad to start their university. They're starting at UE. They're all moving on. Many of them, I should say, are moving on to the next levels of their education. And again, well deserved. So I'm excited to share with you a few pictures from the trip, and then also some insights into how everything went. And there's definitely going to be a video coming out on it, but since we're doing this live stream, I wanted to put that out there. Also, man, I forgot to put this in the description. I'm gonna bring this up again as more people come into the stream. But we're looking at doing a Throp-X New York City Connect. And remember, we were trying to do it in July, but things didn't pan out the way I would have liked. And I was saying that there's a strong possibility that we'd be doing it in September. So it's looking even stronger that we're going to be doing it. So if we do it, it's going to be September 6th, Saturday, September 6th. I'm going to put in the chat here a Google Forms. Thankfully, I already created it. I didn't put it in the description though, but let me do that really quickly. And so if you are interested in doing coming to a meetup in New York on the 6th of September, which is
not this weekend, coming up the following weekend at about 12 o'clock. If you're interested at all, just fill out this form I'm going to put here. 1 second. I'm going to throw it in the chat here. And of course, I can't find it here. But if you are interested, I mean, how many people, I don't know how many people here are in New York, but if you are, I would love to, even in the chat here, I would love to hear if you would be, if you wanted to do it. We did one in London in April. No, early May, as a matter of fact. I was there in April to run the London Marathon, and I just used it as an opportunity to meet up with as many of you as possible, and it was really awesome. It was like really, really awesome. It was a very much a clear extension of this community brought to real life, and I would love to do that again for New York City. So I just put that in the comment section there. So if you're interested, you can feel free to go ahead and fill that out. I'm gonna also put it in the description here. And you can go ahead and fill that out as well if you want to click the description, especially for those which are most people, going to be watching this on the replay. All right, so great. That is there and that is set. And I am excited for that, very much so excited for that. Okay, let's go to the comments real quick, and then we will get into the subject at hand. Justin, sorry you were going to be missing this live, but always appreciate your presence, whether it's on the replay or as it's happening. Big T500 says, Mr. Throp, can you ask the PM about the Lucy bypass? Because that is of grave importance. I sincerely agree with you with that. And I don't think that is putting it over exaggerating at all. I think it is of incredible importance for the expansion and the direction that the West is going right now. It's really, really important. But we're gonna harp on that shortly. Donna Bryce says, happy Sunday, Throp and Throppers. Happy Sunday to you as well. Chiming in from Ottawa. Always nice to have you, Donna. Jeff Rogerson, appreciate you as a channel member. Says, happy Sunday, everyone. Happy Sunday to you as well. Nadine Gibbs, thanks for chiming in. Mon Taylor, hello all. Checking in from London. Awesome to have you from across the pond. Jay Fitz, what's going on, man? Hi, Throp and family, listening from Atlanta. Joshua, what's up, man? Hey, Throp, chiming in from Obey. Looking forward to linking up over the next few weeks. Yes, please. We gotta link, man. I want to hear what's going on with you guys and the projects and the project that you're doing. And looking forward to sharing it with the channel members here. The channel as a whole here. Paulette, hi, Throp, watching from the UK. Awesome to have you on from across the pond as well, Paulette. Natalie Holmes says, hello, good afternoon. Checking in from the West End and wondering if we're getting any rain. We don't have any here on the beach road, but always like nice to have you all here locally. Appreciate you. Blair Video, what's going on? Hello from Brooklyn, New York. Brooklyn in the house. Nice to have you. Donna Bryce says, okay, that explains the crowds last night in Little London. And when I looked at the webcam, yes, definitely. He is in the area, the Prime Minister, that is. Jamaica, what's going on? Hello, Guy. Been a while. Hope all is well. Throp, great interview with the 1 p.m. One Bro God. Seen other YouTubers carrying the interview on their channel. To the patriotic Jamaicans, and remember, choose Jamaica. Thank you for that. Big spokesman there. Glenn McDaniel, elections are coming. So lots of promises, I'm sure. Yes, that's how it goes. That's how it goes for sure. We're not aloof to that in any way here on this channel. But we are, of course, going to hold our officials accountable for things they say and things that they do. Health Inspire says, happy Sunday. Have you considered meetup in Jamaica? Yes, definitely. Definitely considering doing that. It would probably be in Kingston. It's not going to be this year. The schedule is just too crazy right now, especially leading into Throp-X. I never say never. You know, maybe I'm just kind of spitballing here, but I'm running the Reggae Marathon in December, which is the first Sunday in December. Maybe we can do it sometime that week. Maybe I spend a week out there. But no promises right now for sure. But We will absolutely be doing a Throp-X or Jamaica meetup within the next 12 months for sure. Less than 12 months, I can assure you of that. Chartree House says, welcome back, Throp. FYI, U.S. State Department upgraded JA to level 2, exercise increased caution, lowest advisory, level 4, safety and security. Great news. And thanks to Irina for the post. See you in NYC 96. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yep, good news all around. Good news all around. Kevin K. Rose, what's going on? Good to see you. Fab and good vibes. Thanks for joining. Montella says, I missed your London visit. Do update if there's a repeat. Yes, we're probably going to be doing it again in next year for sure. Maybe in April we'll do it again. I'm not running London Marathon next year again, but who knows? It's there was enough. What would I say? There was enough of a demand, and then also I think the value that was created there, not maybe yes, of course, my presence brought everybody together, but I can see the community being formed live in front of my eyes because we are such a very much progressive thinking group of individuals. And when we come together in real life, sparks definitely fly in the best way. And I saw that in London, and I want to recreate moments of that nature as much as humanly possible. And so that's what the London Connect really taught me. So we will definitely be doing it again in London in the future, more than likely in the spring of next year. What's going on? The Walls of Civilization with Eddie Weaver. Hello from Dallas. Daddy Venture says no political affiliation. Delroy checking in from Mississauga, Ontario. Nice to have you on. Secretary Leon checking in from Atlanta. Awesome to have you on. Travel with Eon. Happy Sunday, mister. You are doing a great job. Keep it up. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. 876J says checking in from Orange County, Connecticut. Oh, excuse me. Orange Bay, Connecticut is home. No, checking in from Connecticut. Orange Bay is home. Orange Bay is here in Westmoreland. Very cool. Nice to have you. Nice to have you on. Sure. Dean says checking in from cloudy Fort Lauderdale. Clive, what's going on? Thank you for being a channel member and all the support you have given this channel. Really appreciate it. Clive says, hi, Throp. I saw some of the interview with the Prime Minister. It was massively inspirational. Thank you very much. Donna J, thank you for being a channel member. Really appreciate you. Hello, Throp. Good afternoon, Donna. Shout out from Staten Island. Staten Island in the building. I don't know if you heard, Donna, but we're doing, hopefully not super confirmed, we're going to be trying to do a meetup on September 6th in New York, more than likely in Manhattan. And if you are interested, please sign up in the link in the description. And I also put it up in the comment section above. Tiffany Green says, I'm excited about all the Negril future plans, but I also question, is the election talk from the PM, meaning getting voters hyped so they vote for him? I think that's a fair question. So let's get into exactly what one of the main things that this live stream is about. We're going to watch this video together. And so this was put on the Negril Times. Great follow. I'm going to put the link in the comment section. And we'll watch it. Let me know if you could hear it. Sometimes it doesn't always go through, but we should be good. I think I got it right.
All politics is local, and as you stand there and you're looking at me, you want to hear, so what is in it for Westmoreland? What is in it for Western Westmoreland? What is in it for Negril? The government of Jamaica has developed a program to rehabilitate and redevelop all our town capitals, all our important urban centers. We have started this program with the redevelopment of St. Thomas and the Morant Bay Urban Center. I want all of you to look at that example of the Morant Bay Urban Center, because the same thing that we have done here is the same thing that we're going to do right here in Negril. We have identified the lands. We have identified the lands already, and we are starting the negotiations around those lands. Negril will have its urban center, which will include transportation, but it will also include some public buildings and proper urban facilities for you. Second thing, you notice that we have redone the road in St. Thomas. This road that you have needs to be redeveloped. It is now acting as both a main road and a local street, because you have hotel activities on it, but you have cars also driving fast. It's a main connection between coming from St. James, coming from Montego Bay to get here. That road can't stay that way. So we are going to move the main road inland and make that road a hip strip dedicated totally for tourists.
I think that's about it. You guys get the gist. If you want me to replay it, let me know. We can go through it. So, reason why I'm going to bring this up is because there's a lot of merit in what he's saying, and I know, again, rightfully say people have put in the comments that this is election season, big promises are always going to be made, etc., etc. Fair enough. You know, I'm not gonna argue with you there. But I would say more so my bigger point in this is really recognizing that this is something that needs to happen, that is incredibly important to happen to this area. And one of the first comments in today's stream was by Big T 500, says, Mr. Throp, can you ask the PM about the Lucy bypass, because that is of grave importance. And this goes hand in hand. So just allow me to kind of further explain my point here with a map, of course. And so this, of course, is a map of Jamaica. And we're going to go all the way to the westernmost point of Jamaica, Negril. And what we have here is a one-way in, one-way out situation. So this is the 7-mile strip of Negril. We got 5 miles of white sand beach here, 2 miles of white sand beach here. That makes up the 7 miles. And then we have the A1, which a lot of tourists refer to this as, but more locally known, it's known as the Beach Road, or officially known as Norman Manley Boulevard. So this is the strip that the Prime Minister was talking about. This is my hometown. This is my home road. This is what I traverse every single day, right? And if you've been watching this podcast, this live stream, even up until a few years ago, I've probably been saying this for 2 to 3 years, that Negril is starting to develop a rush hour, which is you don't even understand how like hilariously clownish that is, even for me to say that this little town is developing a rush hour. And it's true. The population is growing. I won't say that it has exploded, but it is definitely teeing up to explode. And so if you were already having this growth that can be felt in population, and this is not just tourism population, this is residents, people living here all year round, is starting to increase. And then you're starting to see and feel the effects of the traffic movement. Eventually, it's going to get to the point where it's going to become incredibly cumbersome, uncomfortable, and you're going to turn into a situation where this is going to have a negative economic effect. And I'm sure it already has. And, you know, these are the things that I believe that we need to anticipate and act on early before we get into a situation where it's like, I mean, Kingston it's just the worst case to me, in my mind, in Jamaica, in terms of like a gridlock situation that you just know you're going to be spending X amount of hours per day commuting to work, sitting in traffic. And Negril doesn't have to turn into that in any way whatsoever. On Thursday's live stream, the topic of discussion was Negril losing 2
iconic events in the last less than 12 months, one of them being Reggae Marathon, the other being Dream Weekend. And one of the aspects of Dream Weekend in particular that I talked about was in its heyday, Negril was completely shut down, the traffic, because there were just so many vehicles trying to traverse the town with this one singular road here. And it turned into 4 lanes. Excuse me. Turned into 4 lanes. And so this, at that time, it could take you 3 to 4 hours to get from point A to point B in Negril. Like, that is no exaggeration. And if you've been here doing Dream Weekend, during the height of Dream Weekend, you will have experienced some of the worst traffic you ever have in your life. And when it normally will take you, you can go end to end in Negril in 15 minutes, essentially, on any given day. And so these are the sort of things that we want to completely avoid in the future, especially as so many large scale projects are coming online on the bookends of Negril. And I'm talking about, when I say bookends, let's go even to Princess Hotel. There's also a Wyndham coming here in this area as well, and one more that hasn't been confirmed that I don't want to say and speculate on this at this point. But the folks who are going to be going here, working here, it's going to increase our population. Moving down to the southeasterly part as we move towards, say, Little London, Sav. We got the Negril International Airport. I don't know if that's the official name. That is well underway. That is in itself is going to increase not only people living here, moving here, but also it's going to increase economic activity. It already has. I will tell you that right now. There are folks that I know who, when that was announced 2 years ago, and I had put out the last year, we had a gentleman on who explained and broke down, you can check it out on my channel, exactly where, well, at the time, not where, but what the entire plan was for, I think he broke it. Yes, he did break it there. Yes, he did break it at my conference, Throp-X 2024, and on my channel, broke the exact location at that time, and he broke down how, why, where the funds are coming from, et cetera, et cetera. And from that, I know people have bought land in Little London and around the surrounding areas. And I know people are thinking, hey, I need to start putting myself in a position to set up shop. And that is smart, progressive thinking. And I think if you're somebody who's in the market, so to speak, or considering being in the market, this is the way that you should be thinking. And just as a side note, I know a lot of people always think like, oh, am I too late? Is it too late? Like, no, we are not there yet. You know, in terms of too late to invest in real estate, too late to get in the game. We are still in the very, 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 very beginning stages. So let's move back to the hip strip, the idea of turning Norman Manley Boulevard into a hip strip. And when he says hip strip, he's more talking using Montego Bay as an example. So let's go to, and I don't want to assume everybody knows Montego Bay hip strip. So we are over in Montego Bay. We're in the parish of St. James. And this is Catherine Hall. That is Pier 1, Harmony Park. Okay, so this is Harmony Beach Park. I talked about this park many, many times. And so going through Montego Bay, so I'm going to point out 3 things here with Montego Bay. And I'm not a super Montego Bay expert, but I know enough, right? And so you have the hip strip here. So the hip strip, this is Jimmy Cliff Boulevard. This, you make a left at the beach park, that Harmony Beach Park. And then you got Margaritaville, Coral Cliff Gaming. You got Usain Bolt's Tracks and Records. You got the S Hotel. What else do we got here? We got the Royal Decameron. We got Doctor's Cave. You got Starbucks. And it's the hip strip. And so the idea with Montego Bay in hip strip is that it's not a highway. Norman Manley Boulevard, I don't know if it's officially a highway, but they definitely drive like it's a highway at times. And it's unfortunate that it's, in the past, it has been incredibly, incredibly unsafe. It still is unsafe, you know, but we'll get into some aspects that have made it safer shortly. So anyway, this is the hip strip and hip strip in Montego Bay. Then you have the Top Road. I don't even know what the official name of Top Road is, but you have Top Road, and that gets you to the airport, and the hip strip gets you to the airport too. But most drivers that I know from Negril, they take Top Road because they want to avoid the hip strip, because a lot of times there could be cruise ship activity, tourists, that sort of thing. You never know what you're going to bump into because it is just innately a slower traffic road to go on. And so most people take the Top Road. And then you get to the airport, and then you're on after you pass the airport, you're going into the Iron Shore area, towards the Iron Shore area. And that is kind of, I guess, in a way, the example that the Prime Minister was using to have Negril turn into, so to speak. And mind you, oh yeah, here it is. This is the Montego Bay bypass. I cannot wait for this. And as the gentleman, I think Big T, I don't know if it was a male or female, they brought up the Lucy bypass, which is crucial to everything that we're saying here. And all of this has to work together harmoniously and in sync with each other. And it's going phase by phase, which is fantastic. And this is, to me, in my mind, this is the first element of this phase. And we've talked about this several times on this channel, like too many times to count. But instead of coming out Sangsters International Airport and making a right and coming to Negril, you're actually going to be making a left towards Iron Shore. And then you get on the bypass here, and you end up out in Bogue, which they still haven't. Wait. Oh, this is Long Hill. Yeah, this is Long Hill. And you end up out in Bogue. No, that's not Long Hill. Is that Long Hill? No. Long Hill's over here. But point is you bypass everything I just said. So you bypass the hip strip. So no Margaritaville, no Coral Cliff Casino, no Harmony Beach Park, like none of that. And you also skip out Top Road. So that is the bypass highway, I'm not sure what you're going to call it, that is going to skip out all of that. I mean, that alone could be an hour, depending on the time of day that you're coming in from the airport. Let's just say that could be an hour that you're skipping. You're skipping all of downtown Freeport. And I think that's beautiful. Like, if you have no business there, why do you need to go there? And you have this. This is phenomenal for Montego Bay. It's going to be phenomenal for Negril. And so the idea is we need a version of this. Our version of this needs to happen over in Negril. So let's bring it back to Negril. And I think it is a great idea to turn this into a hip strip of sorts, a slow moving traffic, and everybody who is going to come on this hip strip is going to be for business, for a reason, right? As opposed to now, if you're going from, say, Orange Bay to Little London or maybe even Sheffield, you have to go through Negril. Even though you have no business there, you're not stopping at a hotel, you're not getting coffee, you're not going to a restaurant or nothing like that. You just need to get to Sheffield for whatever reason, and you're forced to go this way. Now imagine there was some sort of way that you can maybe go, maybe even before Orange Bay, that you can just cut through the morass. And this is what I heard. This is pure speculation, but I heard when they were thinking about doing it, they were looking at the outlet inlet, if you will, coming out at Sheffield. So Sheffield is getting lost here. So this is Negril Hill. So this is basically Sheffield right here. I don't know where it would be, but the idea it would either cut through the morass or cut through the outskirts of the morass, and you can bypass this whole entire strip, and this would be turned into a slow-moving, business commerce-centric strip, which I think it should be, eventually. And in addition to what I was saying before, with these highways working together is that you would do the same. We have I'd call it three major bottlenecks coming from Montego Bay. So the fourth would be going through downtown Montego Bay, but we just discussed that bypass. But the worst of them all, without question, is Lucy, and that's what Big T was saying earlier, is doing some sort of bypass past Lucy. And two things that you're facing with Lucy currently is if it rains and the sea level goes over the seawall, where right here, I mean, forget about it. It's just impassable, and you just literally have to just wait it out. And yes, there's a road that you can go up here, but it's just terrible. The other thing that you are battling with is the business of downtown Lucy. So many times there will be a truck deliveries that literally block the road and turn the dual lane, essentially, dual lane traffic into single lane traffic. And that will just have you sitting there, and going through Lucy can take over an hour easily. If you go there, around rush hour, around 5 o'clock, you're definitely waiting an hour. And when I say an hour, it's like literally from this point here, and if you to get around this bay to get to our Lucy Harbor, it'll take you an hour. Easily an hour, and which is ridiculous. I know some people have mentioned, why don't they do a bridge? That has been taken into consideration. I don't know. That also makes sense to me. That makes a lot of sense to me, because it's just, the shortest path between 2 points is a straight line, of course. So if that can happen, I think that would be great. But if it's a situation where we're interconnecting all of these bypasses and creating one great highway, imagine a highway directly from Montego Bay to Negril. Phenomenal. Okay, so that's Lucy. That's one bottleneck that we've talked about. The other is in Sandy Bay. Not as bad, but it's starting to pick up. You're seeing a lot of residents here. A lot of people are moving here to work at these hotels that are coming up, and that are already existing. So that's another one. The third one, which is really, really bad. It's where we were. Reading, Round Hill, is Hopewell. And you all know the corner that I'm talking about at Hopewell, and it's very tough. Very, very, very tough. And you could be there, all backed all the way up past Round Hill, just sitting there in traffic because of one corner, it's ridiculous. So this also needs to be bypassed. And it's like, you can tell just by this aerial shot here of the Hopewell area. It's a somewhat densely populated area, and that's of course gonna just be having more people moving around, doing business, going about their day, and that's going to increase traffic at certain times of the day. And so, again, my focus and my reason for bringing this up more than anything else is to really make the case and agree with the case that this is a must. This is something that needs to be done for the development of Negril, and it's just one of those things that have to happen, especially in conjunction with all these great projects that are going on and are happening and being signed off, and it just needs to be part of the plan. And I think Negril is in a great position to be a town that is very much purposely developed. And a lot of Jamaica is not like that. A lot of Jamaica is just something, one thing, it's like pitchy patchy, and things weren't planned out with 20, 30, 50 years, maybe even 100 years in mind in terms of building out and what if the population grows to this, what if the population grows to that. And I think Negril is in a unique position for a group of smart people who have long visions to say, hey, let's sit down. And these conversations are already in discussion, and that's why I'm confidently bringing them up. It's like, hey, what will happen if the population of Negril, if it doubles, triples, quadruples. What do we need to put in place? What infrastructure do we need to put in place that will allow the safe, environmentally safe and sustainable growth of this town that we have here in a way that really protects and puts the environment first? And I think these are the types of questions that should be asked as Negril grows, as the interest in Negril grows, like I've never, ever, ever seen it before. And I think we're in a great position, and we have a lot of Negril stakeholders who, and I think it's good because you have like the OG Negrilians, if you will, who've been here from the beginning, thankfully still with us, and they understand and know where Negril has grown from. And they are also very progressively thinking in terms of what Negril should be, could be, and what the potential of Negril is. And so many of them are not like stuck in like, oh, Negril has to stay the same. Negril has to be this. Negril can't change. Thankfully, I think most of the people who've been here for decades and decades and decades, they want to see Negril grow. They want to see Negril reach its full potential within certain parameters, and for once, we're seeing great interest in this small town that I'm so lucky to call home. So let's get to the comments here and see what you all think, and we could take it from there. We could move on, or we can stay here or move on to the next subject. All right. Howard Clark says, Throp representing from Rochester, New York. Love your show, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it. Garfield Whitaker says, what the PM must do to support true republicanism, I can't even say the word right now, is governance by supporting cost-effective local government autonomy in the form of fiscally and technically empowered regional county councils. County councils will be run by budget voting municipal corporation mayors towards quicker tax-saving, effective grassroots bottom-up management of community infrastructure. It's high time to dismantle the island's excessively centralized control of taxes and attendant decision-making local government functions, i.e. garbage collection, community road, sidewalk, park upkeep. I really agree with that, with the sentiments of what you're saying here in terms of really creating a local economy and giving that local economy the autonomy to use the tax dollars that it collects on an annual basis to allocate to specific community projects that they know better than, say, the national federal government. And because that's what essentially happens here, right? And so, for example, a good example is the Negril Beach Park, right? And let's go to Montego Bay, Harmony Park, right? That money, oh no, that came from the TEF. That's not a good example either. All right. Let's say right now, Negril needs to do a big project, which is the downtown Norman Manley Beach Park, which has been shut down, sadly and embarrassingly, for like 6 years right now. It's just been sitting there. And if we were using Garfield's example, and it was the reality was that based on how much taxes that Negril collects, we can say, all right, we want to do this project. We can do it ourselves. We want to fix the roads. Let's say we or put lighting on the boulevard, which we badly need. We have the power to do that, right? And it also is an incredible incentive for, say, the local leadership to encourage and increase commerce and business, because you know that, hey, if you are the mayor or whatever that position would be, the more money that you are able to generate as a community, the larger budget that you'll have the following year. And it's not incentivized that way. Like you rightfully said, Garfield, like we don't have, for multiple reasons, we don't have that level of autonomy here in Negril. That's also because Negril spans 2 parishes. We don't have that sort of central leadership and municipality jurisdiction, which is also crucial to the future of Negril and how it's developed, how it's governed, and how we're able to allocate community-specific tax dollars. And I agree. We really, really need to get to that point. And that, to me, is taking autonomy of a community to a next level. And on the other side of that coin, too, though, it's also, and we got to realize this and recognize this too, is that, and I don't know how it's going to be balanced, but could be a consequence, or will be a consequence, is that you're also would be taking tax dollars away from, say, Sav-la-Mar, right? So if Sav-la-Mar is no longer part of the tax haven is the wrong word, but the tax umbrella of the Negril community, and those tax dollars are just staying in Negril as opposed to Westmoreland, the entirety of Westmoreland, Sav would get less, and maybe they would have less resources to use, and that has a much bigger population than Negril. So it's just something to consider as we move forward. But I think great thought exercise, great point. Shauna says, greetings, beautiful people. Good to see you, Shauna, as usual. And thank you for being a channel member. Much appreciated. Deborah Phillips chiming in from New Jersey in the house. Ann Ramsey says, great info as always. Appreciate. Prince Diamond says, you boy, Andrew Holness, JLP, corrupt government, no third term. All right. No context, but cool. Visionary Star, highway deserves 5 lanes going and coming, including on and off lanes. I agree. I don't think it's going to be a 5-lane highway. If it's not a 5-lane highway initially, I think there should be provisions made, if not already, to expand to a 4 or 5-lane highway. Agreed. Jamaica says election seasons are good because not only are you given election promises, but other information regarding development and investment information you would struggle to otherwise find. Well said. Matique Edwards says, if PNP wins, some of these project plans getting cut off for sure. Sad but true. Let's hope Jamaicans choose Jamaica. Yeah, that's I've heard that before. I think, whoever wins at the end of the day. But I hope good idea. If the PNP wins, I hope some of the good ideas and good projects that the JLP has, we just continue along those lines. Of course, fiscal discipline and everything. I just hope we continue to become a stronger and stronger economic power in the region as we have been, and that would be my hope if the PNP wins and we either party wins, we continue to hold them accountable for what they do and what they say. Prince Diamond says, why you can't help the craft vendors, people suffering under Andrew Holness, corrupt government, JLP wickedness. Again, no context. Matique says, no proof of evidence of corruption and the lowest record corruption index in Jamaica's history, yet you're still saying the man is corrupt. Show the evidence of him being corrupt. If not, be quiet. to put it lightly. Cass says, big up from Orlando. Brian, hi, Throp and fam. Glad you're back. Thank you. Appreciate it. Lee roster review. Elliot says, there is a road that goes from Orange Bay to Sheffield through Logwood. Maybe they can make that into a highway. Lorraine, what's going on? Thanks for hopping on. Alfonso, what's going on, man? Long time. What's up, Throp? Great interview with the Prime Minister. You can see the passion in him to develop Jamaica. Yes, I definitely felt that. And for those who haven't seen it yet, I think this is the link. I got so many YouTube links. I just threw it in the comment section. Please go ahead and take a look. I thought it was a really, really great conversation and enjoyed having it. Buffalo Soldier, what's going on? Nice to have you on. Oren, hi, Throp. Jamaica is definitely on the move, a cultural powerhouse that I describe as the capital of the Caribbean, food, music, people, and those who have behaved like nothing going on here. You're wrong. Yeah, there's a lot going on here. I think it's undeniable what's happening in Jamaica. And it's great. I mean, it really, 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 really is great. Trisha says, good day from Bar Harbor, Maine. Nice to have you, Trisha. Wendy, is Richmond Estate building in Negril soon? Yes, it's a little outside of Negril. It is, as far as I know, that's still happening. Oren says, when you look at the investment going on here, I submit people not gonna invest where a return on investment is not guaranteed. Jamaicans in the diaspora, Jamaica is ripe for business. Look at home. Agreed. Well said. Jamaica says, these local councils lack vision and corruption is rampant. Good example, a lot if individual fighting the government for the Negril airport, and it benefits instead of the highway highway 1 expenditure. He says, no worry, PNP not going to win. Hey, I don't know. We'll see. Who knows? We got about 10 days till the election. Alfonso says, Throp, did you see the groundbreaking ceremony for the Massive Harmony Cove development and the 33-story Moon Palace development in Montego Bay? Yes. Incredible. There's so many. I mean, Montego Bay North Coast is like exploding. I just hope, I don't know the housing situation there or not. I don't know if anybody in Montego Bay can chime in on that. I know nationally we are in a bit of a housing situation here in Jamaica. We just are not building houses fast enough. And it's a very acute problem. So if you go, certain towns won't have this issue, but then certain towns, it's a bigger issue than other towns and other cities. So I know with the explosion of all these developments, by 2030, Montego Bay is going to be just a different beast, completely different beast. And even I can imagine there's going to be like a huge cultural shift there with just how it's seen, not just Montego Bay, but just how Jamaica is seen, how Montego Bay is seen, the feel of it. I would imagine the quality of life of the folks living there are going to be completely elevated. Montego Bay is going to become like a rich town. If it's not, they call it a second city, but I could see it becoming like a really rich town very, very quickly. And I'm talking about within 5 years, because there are so many of these crazy big projects, and those are going to attract a certain level of people. I keep saying it. Jamaica is turning into a luxury product. There's no question about it. And if you don't see it, I don't see how you can't. And there's just so many indications. And this is not just surface level stuff. It's also talking about other things that we're talking about the strength of the economy and the fiscal discipline that has been developed, that has been displayed basically since 2013. Let's say we've kind of been on this track very slowly. And so, man, it's great, and I'm really happy for Montego Bay. I'm really happy for the North Coast that all this activity is happening. But I just hope folks out there are positioning themselves and see the handwriting on the wall with all these great projects happening. And there's a lot of great projects happening down here as well. Don't get me wrong, a lot of great projects happening in the West here that we're gonna be talking about. So it's just not happening, not just in one area, but definitely exciting times. Judy says, you look great. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Owen says, yes, they are building in Hanover. I believe you're talking about the Richmond Estate, if I'm not mistaken. That's what you're talking about, Owen. 100% Sexy says, if anybody is living in Jamaica for the last 6 to 8 years and didn't see or hear growth, he's either blind, dumb, or deaf. The growth is there for sure. The growth is there for sure. Mad Train, my favorite subscriber. Throp, you're a trader. You cuddle up with Waste and Kanju. What JLP clowns them do for you? Nobody did anything for me. I promise. I call it as I see it. And I have interviews with all different types of people, and truly an honor to have the Prime Minister on, regardless of how you feel politically. Judy asks, did you try the Wagyu in Japan? I most certainly did, and it is delicioso, and it's so much cheaper there than it is here in the West. Sitting here watching says most of Andrew is doing comes from the previous administration. I'll leave that open for debate. James Apple says, "What's good, Throp? Good to see you, James. Looking forward to a sit down with you next week." Sure, looking forward to that as well. Orion says, "Mad Train, how dare you come on the man's channel disrespecting him? I hope his moderator kick you off the channel." Nah, it's all it's all good. It's all good. Mad Train's been here for a while. I know people get very passionate about their politics and very emotional, and which is understandable. I try not to get that way, whether here in Jamaica or in the U.S. or anywhere. Not that that means that I don't care or anything like that, but I like to stay just very, very level-headed no matter what. And yeah, people will resort to name calling and being disrespectful. I don't think it's going to get us anywhere as a society. And I would love for it to always be a situation where people can sit down and have a conversation and learn from one another. But we don't really live in an idealistic world of that nature now, do we? King Naldo, what is going on? Says, "Hi, Throp. Long time indeed. Sorry I've been away so long. The developments of Negril will hinge on the informal capture land communities and the removal thereof of generational families and land scarcity." You're very right. And what King Naldo is referring to is where the urban center is slated to be is majority captured land. And this has been one of the downfalls, really, of Negril. And I'm sure there's a lot of places in Jamaica that can sing the same tune, so to speak. But essentially, the allowance and of growth of captured land in Negril, it is just unbelievable, And like King Naldo is saying here, it's been this way for literally multiple generations have been allowed to stay on captured land and grow their families, send their kids to school on this land. And it is prime real estate land. And the question is, how do you get them off? What do you do? Like this, there is no easy way to do, like no easy way. And of course, it has to be done in a dignified way. Their quality of life has to be increased. I have to blame the government, and I'm probably the last person to point fingers at the government, because I always think and feel like once you start doing that, you start taking away your own power. And that doesn't necessarily mean with everything. Like, of course, you're gonna fight for strong leadership, hold them accountable, all of that. But at the same time, when it comes to my life and what I want to do with it, and the people I care about in my community, I take great autonomy. I take great responsibility, I should say, for my life and for what happens around me. But this is a situation that is out of any individual citizen's control, and that is folks coming in and capturing government land. There's nothing that any private citizen can do about that. That is something that the government has to enforce. And what has happened here in Negril, it's gotten crazy. And I always give the example of when I was in the Chamber of Commerce. I was a director. I think I was the first vice president at the time. And I was in charge of the recycling center. And I don't remember the exact years, but let's say this is 2015. And I used to go to the recycling center fairly regularly. And we were trying to basically get to a point of collecting cardboard, and glass was the main thing we were collecting. And we had this machine that would turn glass into recyclable material and use it for art and also building. So used to go there a lot. And then I got out of the Chamber of Commerce and actively, and I was no longer a board member. And maybe two years after that, I was supposed to go to I went to the recycling center. I forget for what. Go to the recycling center, and I couldn't find the thing. I was just like, what happened to my memory? Like, where is this thing? I used to come to this thing like weekly. How could I not remember where this thing is? The reason why I was so confused and I couldn't find it is because of the explosion of growth of people coming in and capturing land. I mean, I was astonished, blown away, and I was just like, this is a mini city. And I was like, this is incredible. I could not believe my eyes. I could not believe this is the same place that I went to weekly. And when I was going there normally as the first vice president of the chamber, yeah, you've seen a little board house here and there, and it was just, you just never thought of it. But 2 years after, another city had grown, and this is the area that is being looked at to turn into an urban center. And mind you, they try to take over, if you will, the government, that is, years. I mean, I want to say 10 years ago, maybe a little bit more, and it was not good. It was not good at all. There was severe protest, let's say, and that whole idea and that whole operation, if you will, was turned around and shut down. And to this day, just to my knowledge, has never been attempted again. And so it's going to be interesting how they plan on doing this. I'm sure they are. And it's not gonna be overnight. And of course, Jamaica is not a country that you're gonna just all of a sudden see bulldozers and people being thrown out their houses that they've been living for no, Negril wouldn't even stand for that. I don't care who you are, business owner, legitimate, tax paying, it doesn't matter. It just would not jive here at all. And there has to be a high level of dignity in this process whenever it does happen, because it does have to happen. It does have to happen. And again, and also I will say, during that exercise, that there was, to my knowledge, there were homes allocated, already built for these folks to move into, but they refused to. So great point, King Naldo, and great context. And it's going to be interesting when this time comes, how this is going to be handled and what the strategy is going to be to do it. So we'll see. Mark Robinson says, I appreciate your show. You're doing an excellent job showing off what's happening in our Jamaica. I believe for the first time, all these developments in parts of Jamaica. Big up from the UK. Awesome. Huh? Nice to have you on, Mark. Travel with Eon. We the people need to also believe in our country to do the right thing. Stop the bad mind criticism and false accusations of our leader. Jamaica says, Throp, I just watched I was Jamaica to put an X beside the bell. The Jamaican government should promote voting tourism more. A lot of Jamaicans flying down to vote. It's a trend. Is it? Oh, I didn't even know that. People are flying in to vote? That's incredible. I had no idea. Interesting. Alfonso West says the Harmony Cove development in particular is going to be a massive addition to the economy. If you really understand the concept of what's going to be built there, you can take a look at the Albany in the Bahamas and you'll get the idea what's coming into Jamaica is going to be massive. I need to look. I only read maybe 2 articles on it. I don't know. I know it's $1 billion development, so I need to look into it a little bit more and educate myself more, but thank you for that, Alfonso. Empress says, hey, Throp, totally agree with you. Jamaica will be a place everyone will want to live and vacation quite frequently. I definitely see the vision, and I have to be a part of it. Absolutely. James Apple says, especially when it's election season coming in Jamaica. Of course, that is not a political channel. Ka says, 1 p.m. is great. Best world leader, best PM ever. 3 times hot. Shivansh Ramchandani says, what does Montego Bay have that you wish Negril should have? Great question. I would say, what does Montego Bay? An airport, first and foremost. That's what I would say put at the list, but that is coming. I would also say, and this goes hand in hand with this is kind of 2 in 1, a diversity of brick and mortar businesses that brings the community together. And that's something that Negril doesn't have. So even bring in Harmony Park, like Negril doesn't have community like Montego Bay, like Kingston has. And I always think about like interest groups, hobby groups, if you will. And we don't have a lot of them. We have like professional groups like the Rotary Club, the Kiwanis Club, the Chamber of Commerce, Jamaica Hotel and Tourist Association. We have different churches, which is amazing and great. We have church communities, but we don't have a volleyball club or a soccer club or a running club, or and maybe we do, and I just have no idea. I don't. We had a reading club here, Travelers, for a few years, that sort of thing. I think that would be really, really great. And we don't have. I don't think Montego Bay has a bowling alley anymore, but even things like that, a movie theater, bowling alley, things that are amenities, I should say, that encourage, incentivize, bring people together. And people could be the community, but people could be family as well. And I wish there were more activities for family, especially young families in Negril, to participate in. And there's just, unfortunately, there's not. We have a lot of great restaurants. Of course, we have the beach. But we don't have a Devon house. We don't. And a Devon house on a Sunday is one of the most beautiful things in Jamaica. Honestly, on a Sunday evening, I encourage you to go there and hang out. It's such like a historically important place, but also coupled with just this beautiful place that you can go to, get some ice cream, have something to eat, meet up with friends, hang with family, spread out a blanket, have a picnic. It is phenomenal. I think it's one of the greatest treasures of Jamaica. And I wish we had something like that. And I'll also say, going back to the Harmony Park, I wish we had a park that our kids could play in, but we don't. I wish we had a park that families could go to and people could drive their car to, that don't live on the beach but can go there and hang out. So yeah, we're missing a lot, especially for young families, and that's just important for any community to have the amenities to incentivize and encourage young families to live here and grow here. And we just don't have them yet, and I'm not saying it's impossible to have a young family here or anything like that, but the truth is just we're just lacking in certain things, And lastly, I'd say I wish our town was cleaner. Somebody had left a comment, I think it was on the interview I did with the Prime Minister. They said Negril needs a facelift, and I completely agree. Like, I hate to talk badly. It's just, there's just so much potential with this town, and there has just been a severe lack of attention paid to Negril over the years. And even with the opening of this podcast and live stream, I was saying that we are getting the most amount of attention that we ever have, but the actions that need to be taken have not been taken, or at least not in any meaningful way that you can visually see and feel the impact of these discussions at this point. A lot of promises, there's a lot of planning. I'm not saying these are empty promises. There's a lot of planning happening, a lot of planning. So there's a lot of planning with the airport. There's a lot of planning with the Negril Beach Park, like 6 years of planning, no action. There's a lot of planning with the Negril Roundabout. They've been working on this thing for like 2 or 3 months or whatever. That thing still isn't done. There's a lot of planning with I have to bring up the map for this one. Chef, you got me on one right now. There's a lot of planning with the shared user path. I think this is one of Negril's greatest assets, and it cannot be understated. And that is this walking, running path, biking path across the street from the beach. That is here. And it goes from downtown Negril, right here at the bridge, and it goes all the way up to Couples Swept Away. So it stops, let's see if I could I run it every day, so I know. It stops right here. Couples Swept Away. It's supposed to go all the way up to here, the second Rio. It's supposed to go all the way up there. That's a game changer for commerce. That's a game changer for business opening. That's a game changer for Negril being, I personally believe Negril could be like an athletic epicenter in a big way if we get that. 7 miles of uninterrupted running. There's nowhere in Jamaica, nowhere in Jamaica. I'm going to look up if there's anywhere in the Caribbean that you have a path that you can run, bike, traverse for 7 miles. And this is obviously very biased because I'm a marathoner. If I could do a 7-mile loop, which is 14 miles on my long runs, oh my gosh, I'm in heaven. I'm in heaven. Central Park's loop is 6 miles. Their big loop, I think it's 6.3, 6.2 miles, if I'm not mistaken. Prospect Park's loop is 3.2 miles. This would be far bigger than that. Far bigger than that. I think that's amazing and a huge asset, but we need to complete it. We need to complete it. And the money has been earmarked for it. Okay, you got me on one. Sorry about that. But great question. Thank you for that, Shiv. Sitting here watching says, and Jamaicans will not be a part of it. What exactly are you speaking of? Lee Rasa says, please, do you know what they are building in Sheffield on the way to Sab? I think I know what you're talking about, but I do not know what they're building. I went there. I forget where I was going to Sab, I think, before I traveled last month. But I have no idea. I have no idea. Good question. Matique Edwards says, Jamaica definitely needs well thought out local economies and economical zones in each parish to drive productivity for each parish, especially if both the parties are campaigning on growth. And the airport for Negril would be a huge start. Agreed. Portia started the highway expansion in Jamaica. Thank you for that. George Alwood, Prime Minister, is a big on structural development. James Apple says, that's my pain point for getting my father's farmland, and it was 100-year lease in the grill spot. It's bureaucratic nightmare to deal with anything in government land. That's for sure. I've heard that from many people, but you got to stick with it. Don't give up. Where there's a will, there's a way. Empress says, hey, Throp, nice to meet you the other day. I totally agree with you. Jamaica be a place that everyone will want to either live or vacation. Quite frequently, I truly see the vision. You do great work. Thank you very much. When did we meet? Sorry, I meet a lot of people, but just please remind me. Oren says, if the current trend in crime reduction continues, which it will, Jamaica is going to come home in drove. That's what's been holding us back. We are on the right track. Agreed. Amy Smith, thank you for being a channel member. Much appreciated. Hello, Throb. The only way to give these captured land people out is to offer them money. I think it has to be a good amount of money, and it also has to be a home. It can't. I agree. It has to be money, and it has to be a home. I think that's you have to do that. You have to do that. Orange says, when you look at St. Anne, it's amazing the amount of residential and commercial development, especially by Drax Hall. The Progressive going to build a huge supermarket there. Proud of Jamaica. Yeah, I think that is huge, but they also have a traffic problem there. Big traffic problem there in Drax Hall. And these are the things that we can avoid in Negril. We can avoid. Negril has bigger potential than that. It really does. And not that we're competing against them, but I'm using them as an example and also learning from their mistakes at the end of the day. And I think we could be much larger than them. I think our just general setup, if you will, from the topography, the beach, the river. Oh my gosh, we're just in such a stronger position fundamentally as a community. But great example, Oren. It's phenomenal over there, and I see why people want to live there, especially if you're ready to retire, so to speak. I mean, it's turnkey, in a big way, more than ever before. It's like such a turnkey situation. So many restaurants popping up. There's a lot of conveniences there, living in that area, and you're so much closer to Kingston if you need to do business there. Hats off to them. I think they're doing a great job, and it's not over. It's far from over there, from what I'm hearing. Then more and more developments going there. So many people want to live there. Those are probably the two hottest red zones right now. Is the Drax Hall area and Montego Bay. I mean, just on fire. It's on fire right now. And, good for them and good for those areas. James Apple says an international airport and a grill, more activities to do after the evening events. However, I know the egg has to come home before the chicken. Have you forgotten that what Andrew did in Clifton? I don't know what you're talking about. No, I don't know. Alfonso Worth, a charter flight with 169 passengers coming to vote from New York. A lot of voters are indeed flying in. Throughout the election is the most consequential election in Jamaica history. Wait, there's a charter flight? No way. Can you send me something on this? That is crazy. First I'm hearing this. Charter flight coming from New York just for people to vote. Man, respect. I mean, talk about country pride. Talk about being a patriot. Wow. Awesome. James Apple says a lot of premier stores need to come back to Negril, like Juicy Patty's store and Fontana Pharmacy. I think a lot of that is about to come from what I'm hearing. I think a lot of this stuff is going to come. Shauna, what's going on? Throp, what's the name of that old business center that we visited / toured at Throp-X? That would be prime real estate for a business center in Negril, for example, co-working space. That was Times Square. That is definitely prime real estate. And I think a good deal. I mean, yeah, if you have a good vision, business center, definitely great location. Great location. So many you can do. Small conference center, coffee, cafe. That's exactly what I was thinking. Empress said, not sure if you ever mentioned the Negril Road needs makeover. These potholes are kind of rough. Is there a plan? Yes, already allocated. I actually spoke with is being done by, oh my gosh, what's the name of the not NEPA. What's the organization that does all the work, government construction work? Somebody help me with that. Anyway, I spoke to the guy. Like, from what I understand and what I've been told, it's already been allocated. The entire Norman Manley Boulevard strip the funds have been earmarked to redo it, literally from downtown all the way up to Long Bay, which is literally like the worst parts of the road. So from here's the Negril roundabout and going all the way up to, let's say, I think right about in this area. Don't quote me on this, but this is where I was told that it was done up, that it was going to be redone. And so, not that this is like perfect up here, but it's way better than downtown Negril. Way better. So that's what I heard. Howard Clark says Jamaican complain too much and miss all the opportunities that's there to take advantage of. The things that you mentioned are good business ideas for private inventors. How can so many foreigners spot these opportunities in our country and just, I agree. I've been saying this for years. Like, how are all these people who are not Jamaican, who don't live here, who didn't grow up here, how are they seeing the potential in Jamaica? And we, us Jamaicans, Jamaican diaspora, are not seeing the potential. So, agreed. Montaylor says, what's the current update on CARICOM's involvement in Jamaica? I have no idea. Can anybody enlighten me, us? And Smith says, Throp, also take into consideration the demographics in the Negril community. Look at your audience who are involved in your podcast and the age group. That should say a lot about who wants Negril. Yes. Well said. Jay Fitz, hi Throp. Have you thought of starting a Negril running club? Yes, I did. I don't think I'm going to be doing that again anytime soon. But it was a lot of work. And I'm a very, very passionate runner. And I'm still chasing PRs. I'm not like retired runner, so to speak, where I can focus on the organization of a running club. And so at the time I was trying to race very fast, but also run a club. And the group that I was with didn't necessarily have the same passion that I did about running. So it became frustrating and people didn't show up. It needs somebody who's passionate about running, but also is administratively strong, that has the time capacity to focus on it. That's what it would take. And like that's how I've seen it done with the many run clubs in Kingston who have great run clubs also in Montego Bay as well. But maybe in the future. Sitting here watching says, my problem is the Jamaican people are not getting full employment and benefits. These investors invest in real estate, but not the people of our country. They don't pay enough taxes and the contracts. Okay. Oren Howard, I agree. I'll let you guys converse. Tom Jerry says, Throp, a lot of empty promises. If money is not being allocated to fix simple projects like potholes and drainage, why believe anything the current government says? All they're doing is building hotels. Because all they're doing is not building hotels. They're doing. Again, I'll just say if you think nothing has happened in 10 years, I guess, in the last 10 years, you haven't seen any or felt any improvement. Somebody said this earlier. Then I think you should vote for the PNP. But I don't think that that's necessarily true if you're being objective. Have the JLP been perfect? Not at all. Probably far from perfect, as a matter of fact. But there are good things that they have done. And if the PNP wins, I'm sure there are going to be great things that they do as well. And I nor you should expect them to be perfect. But I think it's important to be objective and not be super emotional when it comes to the politics. But I get it. And I don't mean to be dismissive of what you're saying here or how anybody feels towards one political party or the other, but it's like maintain your objectivism as much as humanly possible in this. And I say this even with coming from I should say, at the most toxic political environment I think there is right now, which is in America. It's just like, man, you gotta be objective. I think it's so important to be objective. Whether you're a Republican or you're a Democrat, let's say, like it's important to maintain your objectivity and not just say things to say things, and at the same time be critical of whatever political party that you support and whatever political leader that you support, because you have to hold them accountable, because nobody is perfect. No leader is perfect, and they're going to make mistakes. I'm a huge fan of Obama, like huge fan of Obama. But was he the perfect president? Like, no, like he made mistakes just like everybody else. And it's important to hold him accountable where he didn't do so well, or where what I didn't necessarily agree with certain things that he did. I'm going to voice it and not kind of shove it under the carpet, because I don't know. That's just me. But, you feel the way you feel at the end of the day. Tom. Alfonso Worth says, I can understand constructive criticism, but some of these critics in Jamaica need to go and educate themselves. It's embarrassing to listen to some of the nonsense they post. We must change the negative mindset in Jamaica. And like that essentially is my point. It's just like some of these things that are being said are just like nonsensical, and super, super driven by emotion as opposed to being fact or evidence based. And like that's what's turned in America. Like it's just completely like bonkers to me. Like, how did we get here? And I would hate for Jamaican politics to get to that point, or even just business in general. Like, man, it's just mind boggling to me on some of these things and some of these things that people say. But okay. Empress says, met you at your hotel sometime this week. Okay. So glad to have met you, Empress. Sitting here watching, Jamaicans who live outside of Jamaica should not vote unless they have properties and pay taxes in Jamaica. You must have skin in the game. Like, does that make sense to anybody? Like, does that make sense to anybody, that statement? Like, this is like this sort of thing that like, I'm just like, dude, think about what you just wrote. Like, does that really make sense? And so I don't even want to go down that path. It's just such a ridiculous statement and train of thought. Like, anyway, NWA, thank you. That's what National Works Agency. That's what I was looking for. Thank you very much. Thank you, National Works Agency. Thank you, Tisha, Irv1, Dennis. Appreciate it.
Valentina sitting here. That's my opinion too. Yeah, I mean, I guess everybody's entitled to their opinion at the end of the day. Juva says to grow, streets needs to be wider. Driving to the West End to Rick's Cafe. Good suggestion, but how can they be wider without imposing on people's private property? The West End Road, that's not going to change in my mind. I don't think that's going to change from a structural standpoint in any crazy way in the near future. Man, we're going to move on shortly. We got an hour and a half. Juva says, Throp, are all the one bedrooms in the 300K price range? I'm priced out. No, not at all. And where are you talking about? Is there a specific development that you're referring to? I might have missed the comment earlier, but in Jamaica in general, no, you can get a whole house for $300,000, let alone a one bedroom. You can get more. You can buy two houses worth $300,000 in some parts of Jamaica. Romeo Hilton says, what about fixing the road from the roundabout to South Lamar? I think that building an airport in between South Lamar and Negril would force that to happen. Yes, I agree. That needs to happen. That road is terrible. But I think these sort of projects of that nature are going to force developmental infrastructural projects of that nature to happen. Funky Brewster, remember that show. Jamaica will be Hawaii Part 2 as soon as it gets proper government that cares about the citizens and fixes up the markets and roads. Dennis says, unfortunately, some Jamaicans are not objective. Yeah, there's a lot of that going around. Rory McLean says, we need to hold them accountable. Agreed. Valentina says, a lot of Jamaicans do not realize that most of these roads are supposed to be fixed by the municipality. Sitting here watching says, do these plans have the working class Jamaicans in mind, or is it about foreign investors? I think it's mostly about people who live here and attracting more people to live here. Travel with Eon says, when the PNP plans to undo everything that the current government has been doing, hopefully that doesn't happen. Empress Andy says, people have got to stay off TikTok. Yes, I think that's really brainwashing a lot of people. Juava says, my objective is give me my money, all the taxes paid. Same can't go miyad. Okay. All right. And everybody's agreeing with what I'm saying or what I was saying earlier. No. Alfonso says, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Nonsense. Yes, nonsense. What they said earlier is just complete nonsense. Orange is absolute BS. I'm glad you call it out for what it is. 100% Sexy says, I swear people would just say anything as nonsensical as the utterances are. Agreed. People just don't think before they type and speak. It just doesn't make any sense. Howard Clark says, Throp, don't let them sweat you with the politics. Unfortunately, for some reason, some of them, they are living in the Jamaica of the old. We don't just have one TV station anymore, one newspaper. Well said, Howard. Shauna says, love. Shauna Coach says, Throp, don't get too riled up. Step away, like Homer Simpson fading into the bushes meme. I know exactly what you're talking about. Valentina, okay, I'll leave that for you guys. Roy McLean says the government would have to buy out part of the private property to extend the road. That's right. Talking about the West End. I'm talking about near the 7 Mile Beach. I mean, if you're going to be on the 7 Mile, you're going to pay premium. It's like trying to live in the financial district in Manhattan or near Times Square. It's just prime real estate, and you're going to be paying prime real estate dollars. And so to get a 1-bedroom on the beach, yeah, it's probably going to be around 300,000. But that I will also say, caveat that with, if the inventory in Negril continues to grow at the very slow state that it's growing at right now, because there is just not enough
supply to really bring down the price. And the demand is just so much higher than the supply right now in Negril. That's Beach Road or otherwise. We just don't have it. And this is for, you're looking at a luxury apartment house, high end, $500,000, maybe $1 million, as a matter of fact. You have very little choices. And even if you're going for more affordable housing, you have very little choices here in Negril. Very, very, very little choices. We just don't have the inventory. And that's why I always encourage you, if you have the means, you have the idea to do some sort of development here in Negril. Could be very small. It could be 2 units to 5 to 10 to 12 to 20, whatever it is, there is demand for it. I can tell you, as somebody who has a channel that is very much focused on Jamaican real estate that's based in Negril, the demand is there. I get the DMs all the time. I'm hosting an investment conference for this very same reason, to show people the light and to guide people on different opportunities in real estate in and around the Negril area. So I want to make that point very clear. Empress says people need to, I already read that. It's my bad. No, I don't think people need to stay off of TikTok, gossip, and be mindful of what they listen to, hence why all the negativity of Jamaican politics. Alfonso says, I really think the government should definitely work on letting Jamaicans in the diaspora be able to vote, though. It's not going to happen overnight. The work must begin. Lorraine Lawrence says, any plans for a hospital? Not in Negril that I know of, but I mean, 2 things that I think Negril need eventually, with like all these things, the discussions that we've just been having, is like a high school. Negril needs a high school. I will not stop saying this. Negril needs to have a high school. Our kids are traveling probably on average 45 minutes to school, our high school kids. And then also a hospital. Definitely need a hospital. We have a private hospital, but a public hospital, a newly built. I know they're doing a lot of work at Sav Lamar, which is very, very important. They have a much bigger population than Negril does. And that's where most people in Negril go to the hospital from a public standpoint. But Negril does need a hospital, but nothing on the board that I am aware of. Not even a whisper of a Negril getting a hospital at this point. Angela says, we need to be objective and stop being so die-hearted. Hold these politicians accountable. Agree. We live in the Trump era, where you can say any crazy crap as if it's gospel. Yeah, it's kind of the politics that we live in, the world that we live in right now. But great discussion, everyone. Great discussion. We are going to move into the next topic, which is talking about my trip. Oh, let me just say this right now. As a reminder, I don't know if some people might have missed this in the beginning. I am highly considering doing a Throp-X NYC Connect on September 6th in Manhattan, and it'll probably be around 12 p.m. If you are interested in attending remotely interested, that is, please fill out the Google's forms in the description below. I'm also putting it in the comment section there. And let me know just your name, email address, and just the level of interest in attending. Have a venue not officially confirmed, but we're looking at a venue in Manhattan. And the event itself is not even 100% officially confirmed. But I just want to, at this point, I know we're about less than 2 weeks out right now from that possibility. So I just want to see what the interest is a little bit. But anyway, we're going to be moving on to the next subject, which is just talking about my Asia trip a little bit and sharing with you, especially so many of you have donated to NEET to make it happen and to make it possible. Sincerely, thank you. And the least I could do is share some pictures, right? And a video will be coming out of it in a few weeks. I don't know when I'm going to have time to edit this thing, but we'll figure it out. But we'll be getting to this next segment shortly. Throp here again. As you're probably hearing, Jamaica is on an unprecedented economical tear, and I know many people are interested to learn how they might be able to buy property in Jamaica, move here, or even start a business. Enter Throp-X. This is my annual Jamaica Investment Conference hosted at Travelers Beach Resort in Negril, Jamaica. If you're even considering moving to or investing in Jamaica, this is the best low-risk opportunity to do your due diligence and network with the very people driving the country forward. This event brings together a group of hand-picked, trusted, top-of-their-field individuals, the best developers, contractors, real estate pros, lenders, and government partners, all under one roof to help you make your move. This is very much an action-focused premium conference experience geared towards empowering you with the tools and team necessary to create your Jamaica dream. We've partnered with the Tax Administration of Jamaica to help you get your TRN and even open a bank account, all conveniently located on conference property. One of the most popular parts of the conference is the real estate tour. It's the best way to understand Jamaica's real estate market, seeing and experiencing properties firsthand so you can compare apples to apples. Another incredibly valuable part of the conference is the people you will meet. Attendees have been some of the most dynamic, inspiring individuals I have met doing incredible things with their lives. As always, this year will be fun, educational, and actionable, giving you the tools, insights, and connections to invest, build, and move to Jamaica. For more information, please visit Throp-X.com and join our mailing list. Hey there, Throp here. I wanted to interrupt just for a minute to tell you about my family's hotel, Travelers Beach Resort. We are a 60-room Jamaican-owned and operated hotel located on the world-famous 7-mile white sand beach of Negril, Jamaica. My father started this property back in '94, and myself and my brothers Winfield and Wingate took over in 2011 after my father retired. Recently, we've made some upgrades to the property, particularly to our rooms. They've been redesigned and reimagined with comfort and style at the forefront. The textures, the light, the layout, each space was designed with intention, balancing modern touches with the familiar spirit of travelers. Our deluxe rooms and suites, which you are seeing on your screen now, have gone through an incredible transformation. We now have 2-bedroom suites available for your accommodations next time you're in Negril. We're especially proud of our gym. It's designed to give you a high-quality workout experience with premium equipment, plenty of space, and an energizing atmosphere. Our lounge has become one of the more popular public spaces, perfect for a family game night or catching the big game. Of course, our restaurant and bar is located right on the beach, so you can enjoy the most beautiful sunsets in the world. We look forward to welcoming you home. For more information, please visit www.tbr.travel.
Welcome home.
This podcast is supported by Discovery Water. Whether I'm working or training, I reach for Discovery Water. 100% premium Jamaican spring water. Bottled in glass, no plastic, no gimmicks. Refill, not landfill. Just clean, natural hydration from right here on the island. All right, we're back. I don't know why they keep putting me small. We large. All right, so we are now on to our, I should say, my Asia trip. Let's see if we can get these pictures added. All right, let's see if this works. Okay, great. All right, so this is actually a video, but I'm just going to be scrubbing through just so because of the music. And so these are our, let's see if we can get it super. Okay, that should be good. These are, nope, it's not what I want. All right, these are our students. These are students. Are all the teachers there? Yeah, Miss Brown. Yeah, okay, everybody's there. So that's my dad in the middle, is here at Travelers. And this is just a couple of days before the students left for Japan. So for those who might not be aware, my family has a nonprofit organization called the Negril Education Environment Trust, and we have a partnership with the government of Tottori in Japan, which is a prefecture. And this partnership, this brother-sister partnership, was actually established between Westmoreland and the prefecture of Japan by Mayor Moore here. He's now retired mayor. And it was a twinning situation
where they would learn from us. We would learn from them. We would do cultural exchanges. They've donated an ambulance, I believe 2 ambulances to Westmoreland. They have sent their students from Totori to Jamaica several times. That's how we initially made the contact. And they came to our NEET classes in 2016. And we were eventually able to reciprocate, sending our students in 2019, which was supposed to be a every other year situation, but then of course COVID happened. So this year was the first year since COVID we were able to go and visit Japan and Totori. And these are the pictures of the students. And we did this big fundraiser. Well, I won't say big, but we fundraised a lot of money over the last 8 or 9 months at this point in time. And these students all here are all part of our NEET program. Either they were currently or they graduated from our NEET program, and they were picked to represent Jamaica and to go on this trip. And so that's the context of this. So let's keep rolling here. I'm going to start and stop on these are the students. That is Kathy on the left side. She's from Virginia. So her and her husband, Byron, they are just great supporters of our organization. And they were one of the biggest donors of this trip. So big shout out to Kathy and the Rotary Club of, it's one in Virginia. I'm so sorry, I don't remember, but they're big Rotarians. And she also does a dental program here, literally like every few months. She's here cleaning people's teeth for free and just really giving just great guidance and education on dental hygiene, not only for our students, but for our staff here, for the community. She just doesn't do it here, travelers. She goes downtown to the clinic, the Elaine Bradley clinic downtown, which is awesome. So shout outs to Kathy and also her husband, Byron. Let's keep rolling. So that, oh, sorry. Sorry to do that to Shaquila. So this is the first day in Osaka. And these are just some of our students. I'm just going to be scrubbing through here so you can get a sense. This is our group here in Osaka. We stayed right by this dome. This is students getting exchange, some cash, first time riding the subway. Many of the students never been on a plane before. So this is, I can imagine, a very, very exciting trip for these students. Starbucks, they love Starbucks. Went to Starbucks, I think, every day. That was like their thing. This is the hotel that we stayed in Osaka. This is Tak. He is one of the teachers. And then also KJ here in the yellow. He actually lived here in Jamaica. He was a representative from Totori, and he worked at the Westmoreland Municipal Council. And this guy became a full-on Jamaican, like taking public transportation here. He loves Jamaica. Can't wait to come back. But it was great to see KJ. I've known KJ probably since, man, I want to say got to be 2018. And this is when we were meeting up with the Awami students. So the Awami High School students, the culmination of this trip was at the World Expo in Osaka. And we were practicing, I should bring this out now. So we had these collaborative shirts, I should say. So let me take that off the screen just for a second. So these were the shirts that we had, and it was a combination, as you can see, of the Jamaican flag and then also the Japanese flag in a heart. And the song that they did together was One Love. And it was just so beautiful. I can't wait to show you guys the video. But there's this shirt, and then on the back, it says together in English and in Japanese. And both our students and their students wore it. It was just super, super, super freaking awesome. And I thought this was well done. And it has the Negril Education Environment Trust logo there on the right. And then it has the Awami, sorry if you can get that up, the Awami High School logo on the left. And just awesome collaborative shirt and awesome collaborative situation. And so they were doing this dance, this One Love dance. And let me see if I could actually show it to you guys. We're gonna get demonetized here, but it's worth it. It's so worth it. Where would it be? And anyway, so they were doing this this choreographed song and dance, and over all these months they were practicing it separately. And the Japanese students were practicing it, and then our Jamaican students, we had come up with it so that the dance and everything like that. And in practice, we had some of our Jamaican students be Japanese students so that they could get it. And here in these pictures, this is the first time that they're actually meeting. I'm going to show you guys the video in a second. And so this is the first time they're meeting, and this is the first time that they are actually getting to practice this together. So this was at some sort of concert hall that they arranged for us to practice. So I'm going to show you the video shortly. This is our students practicing our traditional Jamaican dances and songs. We're going to show you this in a second. It was so freaking awesome. And then this is the first time that they're meeting, that they're actually doing the choreographed dance together. And I could tell you, hilariously, it was terrible. I mean, in such a funny way, funny and cute way, because it just didn't work. Like, with all the practice, the first time I was like, man, you guys got to start this thing over again. So it was funny, but they obviously, well, you'll see shortly, they got it down pat, and they did such a really, really awesome job. So just going through the pictures here, and then the Nawami students did their own show, did their own performance, I should say, which they were great, extremely talented. A lot of fun. So awesome seeing that, like, how all the kids are interacting with each other, and they all got their Instagrams, their phone numbers. They exchanged and took pictures together. So I'm just scrubbing through here. Just love to see it. Like, it was just so awesome to see this interaction, and like you could tell, like, lifelong friendships were started. And I know a lot of our students can't wait to go back. They can't wait to come and visit Jamaica. A lot of that going on. This is everybody together. This is our first group picture. And then we're back on the bus. And this is the first meal together. And then this is the expo. Everybody know her, Naomi. Great Jamaican singer, great performer. She was there at Jamaica Day. This was, damn, I totally forget the name of this artist. Somebody help me. Oh my gosh. So bad. Oh, I was hanging out with him. Somebody help me. And anyway, he was performing, and while he was performing, he like asked, because we were just like, we all had our Jamaica stuff on, and he told everybody just come on stage, and they did this song and dance. Oh, I wish I had this video queued up. I would love to show it to you guys. It was just so awesome, so freaking awesome. If I can find it quickly, I will try to show it here to you guys. But this is the first time that everybody got on stage. Let me see if I could try to find that video at some point. All right, let's keep rolling here. So that was in the morning. This is after all the students getting ready in their traditional Jamaican garb. They looked great. They were super excited. A lot of them were like really nervous, but that's one of the ambassadors. That is our ambassador for Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
She was there. These are our students looking great, ready to perform. This is everybody. This is like going from the practice to the big stage. So awesome. They did so well. So well. I cannot emphasize enough how well they did. They were just incredible ambassadors for Jamaica. And you guys will be proud. This is the Awami students doing their performance on stage. And then this is the collaborative performance with the collaborative shirt that I just showed you that we all wore. Oh, it's just so beautiful, so beautifully done. Yeah, these are our students. Everybody held it down. They did so well. All right, and this is our visit to the Awami High School. So before we get to Awami High School, let me see if I could actually show you the video of the performance. Okay, this is not the best quality, but you guys get the idea. Let's see. Let's bring it up. Oh, no, hold on. Sorry, guys. All right, 1 second here. And there we go. Good job. All right, all right. And so that was the traditional performance. And let me just show you the collaborative performance. Where is it? Hold on 1 second. There we go.
Hold on. And I will be let them not part of them. There is much better. I'm ready to hide. We stay okay for the blessing us who has heard our life. Let me go, believe. And I will be let's get together, my children, my children. So when the mic comes, if we follow, a creepy unknown, as it goes there, there ain't no hiding place from the Father of creation, saying, one love. One and I will be all right. Let's get together and be all right. And I will be all right. Let's get together and be all right.
And that was the closing performance. Tons and tons of fun. They did so well, like I said, and they both the Owami high school students and our students, I think they did a fantastic job. So that was a culmination of the trip. And let's get back to the the slideshow here, which we're going to quickly go through because, of course, we are over the time that I thought we were going to be at the stream today. Okay, let's go through. That's Bunny. He was one of the chaperones and people who donated money and made this happen. Okay, and so this is the first time that any Jamaican students have gone to Awami High School, and Awami is matched with Little London High School, I believe, which is here in Westmoreland. And they were just doing a collaborative education exercise together with each other, which is awesome. The Japanese students spoke very good English, and I think our students spoke pretty decent Japanese. I'm going to show you a video in a second. So this is, sorry, let me see if I could share. Let me stop this, stop sharing. Let me put up this other video. Oh no, where is it? Okay, perfect. So this video, this is Romain. He's one of our students, and this is when we got to Awami, and he was introducing himself. I hope I caught this.
Konnichiwa. Matashino no mae wa paminde. Aku tanentete. Latiwa wale wale wo suru no gakide. Toshiko onegaishimasu.
That's all. I'll be honest, I don't know what he said. I know he introduced himself, but it's super impressive.
On behalf of the entire NEET organization, I would like to take this time out to thank you for having us here on your school ground, making history as the first set of Jamaican students here. We really love that. We appreciate everything that you've done for us, everything you're doing, and we really enjoyed the collaboration. Yes, and the collaboration was wonderful. We look forward to continue working with you, and we look forward to enjoying today.
Romain, very well spoken and well said. Let's get back to the slideshow here. Got it. All right, let's keep rolling. And so, yeah, these are the students doing the collaboration together. Sorry, I'm just quickly sliding through. Then they did this art project with a local artist, which was another collaborative thing with them working together, which is just great to see. Sorry, it's going so quickly. Oops, sorry. That was a good picture. That's us outside the facility. Another great group picture. And then we stopped by the sea, took another iconic picture, I like to think. This was great. This was both groups together again. And this is the last meal that we had in Totori. Yeah, this is our last meal together, our last dinner, which was great. And then also we made the nightly news. I'm going to try to get that clip. I'm going to try to get that clip to be a part of the final video that we put together, which was awesome. Went to the Sand Museum, which they're very, very proud of because let me see if I got a picture. Oh, these are their sand dunes, which is awesome. We had 2 of our students who are in the cadets, so they were also there representing being a cadet, which was awesome. And I got to get these pictures to them. They've been asking me for it forever. So this is Romain and Rahandre. Rahandre, he is a great 100, 200 meter athlete. Oh man, I forget his times that he ran. I don't want to misquote his times, but exceptionally fast young man, only 13 years old, and definitely looking to supporting him and his athletic career. And then also, I'm going to show you Rihanna in a second. And so this is as we go through, we're at the sand dunes, then we go to the sand museum. These are the Romain and Rohandre again. Okay, so that's Rihanna. She's also a phenomenal young track athlete. She actually got a full ride to, I forget which school, but it's a school in Minnesota. She's already there getting ready for classes. And she runs a decathlon, and she ran oh my gosh, 53. No, don't quote me. No, I think 56. I think she ran a 56 400 hurdles. Crazy, highly talented. And these are the young people that we really need to pour into, young people in general, but these young folks with this much potential. She's going to do great things. I promise you. Very smart young lady. That's Dennis putting on his samurai suit. Andre Romain teachers. And then we got over to the Totori Stadium, this is where I've ran here twice, the marathon twice. This is where their marathon finishes. And this was just beautiful to be here. And this was like the fun part of the day. And then we did a bunch of races, of course. This is a lot of fun. Everybody had a great time. Blazing hot out there. Blazing hot. Trip of a lifetime, to say the least. Trip of a lifetime, to say the least, for all these students. Even myself. I had just a great time. Getting ready to race. That's Miss Brown. Then we went to the Crab Museum, which everybody enjoyed. I might as well play it. Like, this video got demonetized. I just realized. So let's. All right. So we had a courtesy call with the ambassador to Jamaica, Ambassador Richardson. And we unfortunately we're trying to make it physical, but we couldn't make it happen. So the Japanese were so freaking awesome. They found us a conference room, like a 10-minute walk from the hotel we were staying at. We got the projector, they paid for it, and we set it up. We had to take out these tables and chairs, and we made it happen. And this was awesome. We did a gift exchange, of course, Blue Mountain Coffee. And this is like one thing that I learned from the Japanese is just the importance of the courtesy of bringing gifts. I think it's just an amazing part of their culture that I have adapted on. Like, any trip that I go on, like, I'm always bringing Jamaica stuff, like always, like whether it's like even just like a Jamaica wristband or some coffee. Like, if I'm going to any new country, like, I'm bringing Jamaica with me, and I'm distributing Jamaica as much as I can to people I meet, friends that I make, and learn that from the Japanese. So this was what we did as well. We gave out a bunch of gifts throughout the trip. And this is the last day. We went to this beautiful. It's about an hour outside of downtown Totori. Oh man, this is just so beautiful. It's like in the middle of nature, like in the middle of a forest.
I want to meet you, tell you I'm sorry. You don't know how lovely you are. I had to find you, tell you I need you, tell you I set you apart. Tell me a secret, ask me a question. Oh, let's go back to the start. Running in circles.
So I showed this slideshow in the video. We did today's Sunday. This was Tuesday. We did like a meetup with all the students and the teachers at my dad's house to like do this presentation. Like we should just what I just showed you, the slideshow, and just to talk about the trip and bring the students together, kind of extend the trip a little bit more. And this group is not going to get together again, unfortunately, probably never again. And so that was the last opportunity for us to do it. And I showed the slideshow in that video. And after it ended, everybody's crying. Like all the students were crying. It was really, really cute, really emotional, but you could tell how much this trip meant to them. I mean, just so emotionally invested. And I think one of the greatest things is that they understood the magnitude of the importance of their presence on this trip. And it meant a lot to them, but I think they also understood what it meant for Jamaica, what it meant for future students going on trips of this nature. And they really, really did hold it down. And I can't keep saying it enough. You all would have been very, very proud of them. And Jamaica should be very, very proud of them. They were great, great, phenomenal ambassadors. And they all deserve to be on this trip. You know, this is not something that was given to them. They earned this. They were the top performing students in their classes. Well-behaved students as well. You know, with doing trips like this, especially with young people, you know, you can expect certain behavior issues and not everything to go according to plan. It was just so minimal. It was just so minimal. And they're all smart. I mean, we got a bunch of top girls and top boys in their classes who are on this trip. We got soon to be future world-class athletes. And remember these names, honestly. Remember these names, especially Rohandre and Rihanna. They're going to do very, very well in their respective athletic fields, and they come from right here in the West. So great trip overall. You know, I'm happy to share the slideshow and everything that happened with you all, and really, really appreciate your support, especially during the 12-hour live stream fundraiser. That was something for the books, to say the least. But it was great. And who knows, you just never know with these trips, the impact that this is going to have. Oh man, I wish I could find, actually deleted Instagram from my phone. But there was a student that hit me up that came on this trip in 2019 while we were on the trip. And I was sharing, you know, on my Instagram stories, and I was sharing my, the experience with everybody who follows me on Instagram. And they were just telling me about just how much of a huge impact that it had on their life. This young lady, and this was from 2019, the last time we went, and she was just so grateful to have been on that trip, and she was just so happy to be following along the journey for these students. And she was just so happy for the students who went on this trip, and she was excited for them and the impact that it was going to have on their lives. And she was very hopeful that it would be as impactful, or maybe more impactful, for those students as it was on her life. And you just never know what this trip is going to mean for these students and what it's going to inspire, and the different things that they have saw on the trip that will trigger this idea, or trigger going in this direction instead of that direction. You know, one of the students, Kayla, she was like, oh, she always wanted to, she thought she was going to live in not Kyoto, in Seoul, in South Korea. And now she's like, I think Japan is it for me. But you just never know, like looking at different architecture, eating different food. And, you know, that was one thing on the recap that they were talking about, was just the strange foods that they were happy that they tried, and they got out their Jamaican food comfort zone. Although Jamaican food is very, very delicious, and they missed it, but they also really appreciated the new cuisines that they were trying, and they otherwise would not have had the opportunity to try these different foods and interact with these different people. And I'm just so happy for them, you know. And I know even me at 41 years old, like when I travel to a new country or go back to a country that I haven't been before, but do different things. That is extremely impactful on my life and like how I see the world and my perspective. And I can only imagine having done a trip of this nature at 13, at 17, or whatever have you. It's just the return on that investment is just infinite, and it's also compounding year after year after year. And I know we have injected the travel bug into them, and who knows what kind of ambassadors that these guys are going to be in the future. So really happy to have been a part of a trip of this nature. Looking forward to doing it again, and we're going to do it again in 2027. All being well, 2026, the Awami or Totori students will come to Jamaica, and we will do a collaboration and maybe even a homestay. That was one thing that we did in 2019. We had our students stay with the Japanese families, and we're gonna hopefully we can do that next year and have some of the Japanese students stay with Jamaican families to get the full-on cultural immersion. And yeah, that's the name of the game here. That's the name of the game here. So, like I said, happy to be sharing that with you all. All right. Last but not least, 5:30. I meant to be done probably an hour ago. Throp-X. Want to give some updates on Throp-X as we move into the twilight aspect of our discussions here. So Throp-X happening from November 16th to November 22nd. What updates do I have for you? So want to mention first and foremost the possibility of a Throp-X New York City Connect on September 6th. So if you are interested, please click the link below and sign up for, just spell out your name and email address. Just trying to get an understanding of how many people are interested and what the interest levels are for doing that. Not fully 100% confirmed. If you are on the list, I will email you personally to let you know that it is confirmed. And I'll mention it next week on Sunday's live stream and Thursday's live stream, and make a post Instagram. I will get the word out as much as I possibly can across all my platforms. So that's first and foremost. We have a bunch of hotel sponsors. I'm not going to name them now, but man, I have to say the Negril community, thank you so much. Like almost every hotel that we've asked for rooms have said yes. Really, really, really appreciate it. I don't want to start naming names because I'm going to forget it. I got to list them, but we're going to be doing this as we go through and gear up for Throp-X. I will be definitely thanking our sponsors. Discovery Water is our official water sponsor for Throp-X. So if you come to Throp-X, everybody gets Discovery Water. You saw the commercial. I'll throw it up again. It's 24 seconds. And there are a water company here in Westmoreland, and it is the most premium water in Jamaica at 8.3 pH. Number one, can't compete with it. It is what it is. And they are all about the environment. It's not plastic bottles, it's glass bottles. So, and you can't buy it in a store. You have to buy it at a commercial establishment like Travelers. So we are serving Discovery Water here, and they take the bottles, we return it to them, they clean them out, and then we replenish it. So all about the getting rid of the one-time use plastics, and they really, really mean it. And so really, really happy to have them on as our water sponsor for this year. So Throp-X, you come this year, all you will be drinking is Discovery Water right through the conference, which is super, super exciting. Also, did I mention who the host was for this year? I've been sitting on this probably for a month, and I didn't even talk about it. We're going to be putting out promo, but I think it's a big deal. Let me show you the Discovery Water commercial one more time before we get into that. This podcast is supported by Discovery Water. Whether I'm working or training, I reach for Discovery Water. 100% premium Jamaican spring water. Bottled in glass, no plastic, no gimmicks. Refill, not landfill. Just clean, natural hydration from right here on the island. Yeah, so our host this year is going to be Kalila Reynolds, which I'm very happy and proud to be having her as our host and doing this collaboration with her. And I wanted to say like so long ago, but you know, these things take time. And like I said, it was already, yeah, I want to say like a good month that this has been confirmed. So I think she's going to do an amazing job, and she's going to bring just a different level of perspective on just Jamaica in general, and also just her platform and what she does for Jamaica in finance and just right across the board. I think is just phenomenal, phenomenal. And she's actually somebody that I wanted to get on the podcast for a while, but instead we're collaborating for my investment conference. So super, super happy to announce that. And you're on the live stream, so I figured I'd tell you. But we're going to be doing an official announcement. I think not this week, but next week we will be getting that out in a big way. So this, in my mind, just another level of incredible value. One thing that I did want to bring to you guys, as far as like, let me know what you think, is so this year we are doing 2 days of the real estate tour, and let me know what you think. I'm probably going to bring this up again on Thursday on the live stream. And so one of those days we are definitely getting outside of Negril. We are going to be, we're either going to go south or we're going to go north. Basically, we're going to go south or we're going to go north. So the two things that I'm thinking here is we're going to do a White House / Treasure Beach tour. That's one thing that I'm thinking, because there's a lot of great things happening in White House, and especially also Treasure Beach. As you may or may not be aware, that St. Elizabeth has been chosen for the location for Jamaica's next city. So you have Kingston, Montego Bay, and then a city in Treasure Beach, right? And so I think it'll be very interesting to go to that side of the island. Going north now, we can't do both. We can't do both. Try to work it out. Like, hey, is there a way we can do it? We can do both. I think it's just going to be too much, because each of them are an hour and a half, and we literally have to spend a day in one of these areas. We go north, we go to Montego Bay. And Montego Bay, as I mentioned earlier on in the podcast, it's super hot right now. I mean, it is just blazing hot, with just so many things happening, and also so many things happening along the way. And there's a lot of real estate professionals that I can collaborate going that side. So I don't know what I'd want to hear from you all. Like, is there a particular direction that you would be more interested in, one way or another? But the thing is, and I know this is like, maybe this is a rhetorical question that I'm even asking, but you can't lose. You can't lose going north. You can't lose going south. I mean, because the opportunities are just so crazy. And even though the real estate professionals in those areas, of course, they're going to try to pull me in Montego Bay, they're going to pull me in on the South Coast. But I'm excited to be going in either direction. So I would love to hear from you guys in the comments on the replay or here on the live stream. Should we go north? Should we go south? Should we go north? Should we go south? And each of them has their crazy benefits in going in that direction. So we're going to make a decision relatively soon. We're going to make a decision relatively soon. And it also, I mean, I have to say, it also depends on the partnerships as well, because that's what's will be driving that, because we have to have good partners, especially when we go outside of Negril. Like, it's important to have good partners, because we just have to bring the best possible value to people who are coming to Throp-X as much as we possibly can. And the partnerships are a very, very important part of that, because I want to bring exclusive deals to you guys. You know, I want to bring you stuff that you're not necessarily going to find on the internet or in a commercial somewhere. That's like one of the main things. So that's what's on the docket. That's what's I'm contemplating. There's a bunch of other things that I want to talk about, but we just kind of leave it right there for now. We're at 2.5 hours, which this is not supposed to go 2.5 hours. All right, let's wrap up with some comments here, and then we will close out. Please listen to Donna, and make sure you hit that like button. Really, really appreciate that. The Foreign Speculator says, as someone who has a Throp-X ticket, my vote is for South. The South Coast is the bigger opportunity, in my opinion.
Your vote definitely holds more weight. I'll say that. But honestly, yes, I agree with that. There's just more. You're getting in sooner, right? Like, and that's what it is. I would say, I would say if there's a difference between going north or going south, is that South Coast is like early days, and this is going to be for people who are, I would say South Coast is probably a step behind Negril. My personal opinion, in terms of investment and things moving and that sort of thing, my personal opinion. Whereas Montego Bay is like imminent. It's here, it's now, it's next year, 2 years, whatever it is. That's the toss up right now. That's the toss up, I'd say, in terms of do we go left, do we go right, sort of thing. Metro Atlanta real estate. Love Amma, but also excited to see what Kalila will bring. Me too. Amma helped birth Throp-X without a doubt, and she's just done a phenomenal job. And she's doing great things. She's onto a different phase of her life, another phase of her life now, which of course we wish her all the best. And she's also she's still involved, I have to say. Like I've collaborated, brainstormed with her, continued to brainstorm with her in a big way. She gave me some great suggestions on different hosts to come on and replace her. So she was definitely a part of the process. I want to make that super, super clear. Amy Smith says, go south. The investment to the south is upcoming. I vote south. It seems more of an untapped market rather than a north. Too popular. Yeah. North is very, very popular. Damian Robinson is coming down on Friday for the election vacay. This is a thing, huh? All right, cool. All right, guys. I think we're gonna wrap things up there. This was a great Sunday live. Great to be back. Feel like I'm back in my element. We're going to be going live again on Thursday. So we got twice a week podcasts, Thursday and Sunday. So Thursday is going to be, I think it's 5 or 5:30. No, it's probably going to be, we're going to do 5 o'clock. We're going to do 5 o'clock Thursdays. And we'll see how that time works out. If that's too early for people, I might push it back an hour. But for right now, we're going to do 5 o'clock Thursday live streams every week. Continue with the longer form, traditional Sunday live streams that we have here. Thursday will be 100% dedicated to Throp-X. If there's something that comes up in the media, of course, we'll talk about it. But Thursdays will be dedicated strictly to Throp-X live streams, the Throp-X 2025. And we are going to hopefully, probably not this week, we're going to have guests in future Thursday live streams coming on virtually. Many of them who are going to be speakers at Throp-X this year. So super excited for all of it. All right. Shona says, Amma is amazing. Absolutely. I'm looking forward to the evolution and elevation. Same. Sorry I missed you while I was at Travelers 2 weeks ago. Yeah, was in Japan, unfortunately. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining. Today was another great stream. And I'm going to leave it there. I'll see you all on Thursday. Have a great week, everyone.
Welcome to our newly renovated standard rooms. And this is our standard veranda, our balcony, depending on if you're on the first floor or the second floor. It comes with 2 chairs and a table. And this is our double queen room. And as you can see, we have our standard herring artwork on the walls with an accent wall and the wooden bed heads, and each bed has a reading lamp, and those reading lamps have USB type A outlets plus a standard outlet on the wall for you to plug in any electronics that you may have. Rooms also come standard with a flat screen television, as well as a desk, coffee maker / tea maker that you can use in the mornings if you'd like, and you also have coffee and tea available to you as well. And we also have a mini fridge for your convenience. Of course, we are AC room. This is the Tropics. This is Jamaica, but we also have a ceiling fan for you available as well if you prefer, or you want to use both. And moving on to the bathroom area, I just wanted to point out that all of our standard room doors now are using electronic key cards, which we are very happy about, and just much more easier to use from a hotel logistics standpoint. Moving into the bathroom, this is probably one of our most proudest renovations. Moving into the shower area, we have the rainfall shower head as well as the handheld shower head. And the designer went into the details of putting the shower together with this color schemes, but also the practicality of it. And I just want to highlight some of those, and one of them being the shower drain as well as the shower heads, which you saw, which is all complementing each other. And of course, the shower amenities with this shelf for your convenience towards the back of the shower, and even where the shower faucet is, which is towards the back of the shower, which allows you to turn on the shower without getting wet. Moving on to the sink, it's also a black handle sink, which again just complements the design of the entire shower and bathroom, and it's all coordinated even with the room design. And as you can see, we have the towel hooks as well, which I really appreciate. And that, in a nutshell, is our newly renovated standard room. I hope you enjoyed it.